Thank you. Thank you. Can all of us be seated? We are going to start the program. I first, from my side, speaking to all of you today, standing in front of you, very humble servant of the West Coast soil. My name is Njabulo. I am originally from Saldanha. I am also a councillor at the West Coast District Municipality. So I'm giving an oversight of all the big municipalities around in my area. I'm just kidding. I'm going to give over to the Council of the Ward to welcome all of you. Councillor Gerald Cleopas is a councillor in this ward, and it's just more than fair and best to ask him to open up with a prayer. To do the welcoming to you guys. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Goeiemorgen allemaal. The ward councillor, Councillor Cleophas, got ill earlier. He was taken to the ambulance for the second time now to test why he is feeling the way he's feeling. So please accept his apology. He is he's in the emergency vehicle at this time. So that is where your councillor is. He was here a few minutes ago. We had to take him back because he's not feeling well. So I'm here on his behalf. Ek is hier op sy grond en hy het my gevra om net vir julle welkom te heet. So good morning everyone, deputy ministers, each one of you and your attachés and your teams, the community, every single chief that is here, every single traditional leader, every religious leader that is here, every leader of the community, every political leader that is here, you are most welcome. We are sitting here today because you as a community have a lot of issues that you've raised and that you've spoken of, and the ministers have availed themselves to come and listen to you, to the people of South Africa that matters most. So today we ask that you do speak and that you raise those issues and that you listen with insight to what they say to you. So verwelkom al die ministers, die deputy ministers. Hulle is hier om na julle te luister. Hulle het gekom vir julle, nie vir ons nie, vir julle, want julle is die belangrikste. So hulle het gekom om na julle te luister. So as julle enige iets het wat kwel en wat pla oor al die departemente wat hier is, praat daaroor, hulle is hier om te luister. En dan wil ek net vra, ons gaan deur 'n baie slegte tyd in Suid-Afrika. We're going through a very bad time where children are missing, children are raped, murdered, women are abused, and we have wars all across this globe. And as my colleague, Councillor Plaatje, said, let us pray for international peace. But let us be responsible citizens. Laat ons verantwoordelike mense word. As jy weet van geweld teen kinders en vrouens en is jou buurman, jou buurvrou, gaan rapporteer dit. Want as jy jou oog draai, is jy net so skuldig. Met die Jocelyn saak, dis 'n hartseer ding, dis 'n dogtertjie wat weg is en ons weet nou nog nie waar sy is nie. Maar daar is ook baie ander kinders wat weg is. Kinders wat al verkragt en vermoor is in ons omtrek, in ons distrik. So let us be responsible, let us care about one another. It doesn't matter to which political party, whoever belongs. Above all, you were born in South Africa, you're a South African citizen, jy's 'n Suid-Afrikaner en dit is wat tel. En nie enige iets anders nie. Baie dankie dat julle hier is en ons verwelkom julle en ons is bly dat julle hier is. Dankie.
Baie dankie, Councillor So. Thank you so much for the welcoming, and I hope each and everybody is very much welcomed now. I'm going to give over now to the DDG Remember a community that the officials within all the disciplines of government are actually ensuring that implementation of service delivery is being done. So having her today here to give us a very vast introduction in terms of all the ministers in our midst, I hereby welcome Nana, the DDG. Can all of us give a hand applause to her?
Thank you very much, Councillor and Program Director. And let me once again acknowledge our political principals that are here in our midst. And let me acknowledge each and every one, our leaders, community leaders, the traditional leaders that are present. And importantly, each and every one of you as citizens of this community. First, let me apologize for the delay that we had to experience this morning, and really appreciate your patience. And we appreciate that as government. We are here as government. It's not only one department. I think Council has outlined that. I just want to highlight the departments that are here, but also to emphasize that we are just not here as individuals, but we are also presenting the services that we provide. We have the presidency in our midst, and that's where we are being held accountable as other departments, and we must really appreciate that leadership. We have the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, and we will be engaging with our political principals as we move forward. We do have the Department of Home Affairs, and I think you would have seen the services that are around, that are brought to you as the community. We do have the Department of Human Settlements, which I represent as an official, but I do have my political principal, phakathi kwethu. And I think we have had a meeting. While we delayed, actually we met first with the leadership so that we can begin to engage on the issues. So some of the issues that you will be addressing with us have already been raised by the leadership. So that's why then we had to have a delay, and we really sincerely appreciate your patience. We also have the Department of Employment and Labor. They are also bringing all the services to yourself. So it's not just to saying we are talking, but it's also to saying how then do you benefit out of what we are bringing. Because we don't want to waste more time, we are going to really go to the core of why we are here today, is really to engage with yourselves. And I must apologize in advance. It's not everyone that will have the opportunity to speak. And whenever you have the opportunity to speak, please don't repeat if the issue that you want to address has already been addressed. Because this is a start. I think I must note that the leaders, when we're engaging the community leaders, is to say, we are not here as departments, as just a talk shop or a once-off. It's a beginning to say a report will be consolidated and ongoing feedback will be provided. So we already have an insight in some of the issues. So I will then open the opportunity in terms of taking what the issues that you want to raise, and thereafter we are going to have our deputy ministers responding, so that then we can make sure that we save time and also we benefit all of us in terms of this. So I will take hands, I will just categorize, and then I will start from this side and come from this side. Maybe I will take 3 from each side, and then I will ask the people that they will be raising questions. That's a sabotage. You come to the front and then you raise. Be as concise as possible. We all want to raise points, but let's be just short, be on point, what you want to raise, so that then we can give the others the opportunity. So if I don't take your hand, there's no beef between me and you. It's just that let's have other people representing. Are we clear in that order? So once we have taken all the questions, we are noting everything that is being said, and then from there, we are then going to get the responses from the leadership that is sitting in the front. I hope I am clear. If you can allow me then to request from my far left, it will be your right side, just to take, I'll start with 3 questions. If we are doing well, really, we can get more, but I'll start with 3 questions. Can I get hands from that side, and the people that, I think there's officials that are going to be assisting us, so that we note the hands, people who want to raise issues. That side. Hayi maze ngeke izandla ngiyidlula. Shuthi si right ngale. Sikhona isandla, any hand, nurses 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sengiyabuya, I'm coming here. Izandla 1, 2, ngiyedlula 3. Have we noted them so that they can come? The rule is be as short as and to the point as possible. Have we noted the hands this side? Can I move? If you don't mind, you can please just come and stand to the... I apologize for the elderly to make you stand, but so that we can be efficient. Okay? Can I come to this row? Is there any hand from this side? Going once, going twice, gone. Okay? Let me move to the last. I'll take this whole part. On my right side. Are there any hands? Okay. So I think we are covered from this side. All right. Do we have the roving mic? Can we give the first person then? Please, let's stick to time so that we can effectively engage. Thank you very much. One.
Okay, Mahambehlala, Bulisa Minister, Bulisa Mhlauli beside Luthetha nguNomatayimana, ngapha kuwa 12 eLandville. Umlasilengaki pha kuwa 12 malunga nomcimbi wezindlu. Uwa 12 akukhela izindlu ngale likhona izindlu bekazanye ngathi kuyokhiwa pha. Nalo contract bizama ukokha imkile phakathi asikayazi noba kwenzeka ntoni. Siphinde sibe nengxaki kuzindlu ezazokhiwa ngo-2002 kuthiwa yi-New Rest. I-New Rest yokhiwa yaxhonywa nge-asbesta, and iza-asbesta zinezakhiza. Ezazindlu zakhiwa i-New Rest zine-asbestos phezu kwendlu. Eza-asbestos ngezinye ziyavusa ziyawa and wakwayena ngaphakathi endlini. And ke ngoku inintsi into enokwenzeka ngalimala nomntu sezakhiza, mhlawumbi usendlini phakathi ngabetha nomntana, ngabetha nomntu omdala ngalima. So nathi ke sincede ngaloo nto, ndiwathi kuyavota kakhulu and i-ANC iphumelela oko kuyawathwepha kwaye-ANC. Kodwa andizibani mgqibile zamanje kuyondawo ke-minister nisiphendulele njalo.
Goedemiddag allemaal. Ik wil even weten, ik heb 3 vragen eigenlijk. Hoekom is is daar nie meer land vir landbou aan die Weskus nie. En dat word nog net gebruik. Property development. Die tweede vraag is, ons ook meer industrial development. Wat moet gebeur vir werkskepping in die Weskus. En die laaste een is, Langebaan sit met 'n groot probleem. 2009 was die laaste hoophuisies in Langebaan gebou. Ons het met 'n huisingprobleem in Langebaan, dankie.
Okay, Minister, my name is Henry, chairperson of the military veterans. I just want to know, what is the hold up for a military veteran in the West Coast for a housing? I'm in charge of also of housing, but I see from 2019, there's no development in housing. That's all I want to ask you.
Goeiemiddag allemaal. Ik is de carrière van die kant van Lengo. Ik is gemeenschap, ik werk in de gemeenschap. En ik kom, het komt onder mijn aandacht in de gemeenschap dat behuizing is een baie groot probleem in onze gemeenschap. En ons zit niet een probleem dat ik denk niet net ons als Lengo, maar ik denk dat geldt voor die hele Zuid-Afrika. Dat die legislation moet veranderd worden. Dat dan mensen wat getrouwd was, kan niet weer aanzoek doen of hulle partners kan niet weer aanzoek doen als hulle getrouwd was. Mensen sê ik skei van mijn eerste man en hij trouw weer, dan kan die vrouw kan niet aanzoek doen voor huis, want zij kon je dan een aanmerking omdat die man reeds een huisbezitter. En ik denk, dat is oor die hele Zuid-Afrika wat ons met hierdie probleem sit. Ons het groot mense wat in ander mense jaag en skwak en hulle bly in onnatuurlike gevalle. En ek dink dit is iets wat legislation moet dit verander. Dit kan nie op munisipale vlak verander word nie, maar dit moet provinsiaal, nasionaal en provinsiaal moet dit verander word.
Okay, my name is Njabulo. I will direct my question to Deputy Minister of Presidency, Comrade Nonceba Mhlauli. Comrade Nonceba Mhlauli, you are aware that after 30 years of democracy, here in Saldanha, we are still using the bucket system under the DA-led municipality. Number two, here in Saldanha, we've got the 800 project housing, but Mr. Ryan, he refused to write a letter to ask the funding to the nation. They refused to build the housing of Iraq or Midwest. I want to know why they refuse to build for our housing in Midwest. It was our Papa.
Goedemiddag allemaal.
Let's allow her to speak, please.
Ik is van Vredenburg, Basseklik. Daar is net twee vrae wat ek graag wil vra. Nommer 1. Hoekom moet 'n disabled persoon vir 5 jaar op 'n waglys is voor hy of sy kan 'n huis bekom? Nommer 2 is as jy ons huis subsidie, né? Dan
Bijvoorbeeld as daar nou 2 mense is wat miskien disability kry. Byvoorbeeld ek en my dogter. Ons kry nou albei disability. Dan oorskry dit mos nou die 3500. Dan mag ons nou nie 'n huis kry nie. Nou ek wil net weet, hoekom gaan daai bedrag van R3500, hoekom gaan dit nie op nie? Dit is my vraag vanmiddag aan die ministers. Dankie.
Morgen di belum tanda sekunana ikamalam di salah elai plek Fedred Notu dan di Palisein Jumbo 2014 angkai kuman nanam sanjo ogon dan di dek mas palawe tu elai plek ogon dan di from 2014 ogon kai kuman itu so ela abaphathi bethu ababasihambeleyo namhlanje apha Saldanha basincede please ndiyacela ndiphume ndodwa e-life black Fedred Notu enkosi.
Goeiemiddag gemeenskap. Ek groet julle almal in die naam van die Here. Ek het vanmiddag 'n persoonlike complaint wat ek wil indien. Wat nou al 25 jaar lewe. Ek het nou tot van die huis af kom, kry hierdie brief. Ek is 'n enkel ouer wat tydelike disability kry. Daar is 'n huis op my naam wat my naam alleen bemaak het en verkoop het. En die kopers het nog nooit kar en transport oorgedra nie. Die huis se agterstallige skuld staan heilig op 52.000 en 'n hele paar rande daarby. Die huis wat ek nou woon in Hopland, se skuld is R27.528. Hulle gee vir my 'n brief wat vir my sê dat ek sal na die hof toe gaan om hierdie skuld te betaal. So ek staan as 'n enkel ouer, nie geen net 'n tydelike inkomste op die oomblik lewe ek van die poste kinders geld, want ek het dinsdag my papiere besit gaan ingee. Van Januarie maand tot nou toe het ek nie 'n inkomste nie. So hoe kan ek soveel skuld op my naam hê vir 25 jaar? Ek het al uitgereik na munisipale, ek het gegaan en ek het trane gestort, ek het gehuil, maar niemand het op dag vir my in hierdie 25 jaar gehelp. Baie dankie dat jy geluister het.
Molweni bafana apa ngine 20 years wasting this yendini abantu ababekhupha izindlu ayingopasta bafana baya ngine 20 years ngidela hamba lohlala elibathungapha kutsala sandofike eKwaShanga kulo 20 years nginamile indlu kabeza kulahla bakhethe iAfrikaans kabeza kulahla bakhethe iAfrikaans nalikathi kazibu uhlale esikeleni anasena kuna namhlanje ngazikhuthwa ngabo lafika igama lami selicinyile libekwe nje ikopi pen likhona sayo kathathi kasifika faya sakhangela incwadi endala seyilahlile lofumaneka khona igama lami isahlala nangoku emkhukhwini nangoku ubhatala irenti ndaje ndatshintsha lawukhangela indawo eFlakastan ukuze kube nendawo ehlala kunangoku 20 years bendiphaya izolo eFlippington wayichaza umntana ebetha ikhompyutha phaa ukwi-wasting list ye-20 years andiyazi yakuba nini lokhu
Mahambehlala iwuza kade sunduza mna into endizocela ukubuza abakwaminista ndiyavuya kwangoku bona mandigqithi kuhamba etawuni ndihamba nyama ipeni yam inye
apha eSaldanha sihlala nzima njani ndicela ubuza kutheni amanzi walapha edityaniswa nombane because abantu bahlala nzima kulaa ndawo ukuyathenga umbane noba nge-R100 ufumana we-R30 kodwa ubangaya ngapha eKapa kwalatyala liphethwe ngabantu abamhlophe zabeka ngolo hlobo amanzi akadityanisanga nombane umbane wodwa and ngapha eCape Town akurente funeka siyithethe clean loo nto leyo bendihlala eGugulethe 140 akurente kodwa apha thina sirenta every day babhadela ngamanzi umbane awufumani umzekelo uyahamba uyofola awusebenzi naso osohlele loo nto unayo ithi intethe ke wawuthenga ngalo R50 yakho ifumeneyo etawuni uthole ufumana umbane we-R4 kutheni abe ewadre elengwele u-esoola phaya amanzi waphaya akadityaniswanga namanzi umbane waphaya udityaniswanga namanzi ndicela ukubuza kule ndawo apho wesitoti kutheni kunjalo ingathi ke sicaciselwe kamanzi khona imistike zonke iipatejeni zikhona apha ke sicacise siyaphela apha and ulo mcimbo othoyilethela ubhake system iyasibetha because ubuyajonga phaa ungena kwetoilet kule bhake system akutshisa ufika phaa ngaphakathi iyabila laa nto ufumane i-infection ngaphakathi esini kuyo kodwa khanke nisincede apho bekuthethwe ngeetoilet kule nyapheleyo kodwa zizofika before June iitoilet eziyi-160 kodwa ngosibheka komnye uJuni ngoku asiboni inkqubeleka phambili zibanjiwe izinto kodwa akukhankaso kuyavotwa kuthiwa zonke ezosoku ukucima kwethu uvotwa kukhatywa itulo ngabavoti senesoka anisaciseleni
Ze groeten voor allemaal. Al die community wat hier is, ze groeten. Die tweede groet die daarvan voor. Moet de naam van de Heer. Mijn naam is Moses Kubula. 509, that the new bring better life. Freedom back, better life. Mijn eerste praat is voor. Daar, 5 meter daar waarvan mijn hockey is, wordt die nieuwe plek. Daar is 7. Die opzet toilets. Van de leidgezetters legt die hele tijd, dat is al goed water. Die was van de tijd mensen en dat kan net weer terug. Ons gaat terugkomen. Ons gaat terugkomen. Dat is al. Die tweede, daar is een brandshanties. Die fire brigade, hij komt altijd, die shit is klaar afgebrand. Die derde probleem, onze mensen, onze iskassen brand. En dan gaan uit, want die mensen trek die kracht bij die box. Nee, dat probleem was van het iets en dat is soort niet. Die mensen zijn praat, wat daar zo blijft. Die zijn het probleem van aankomen naar zo'n plek toe. Die gaan geslaan worden. Als je iemand ziet en hand voor die val, die kracht aanzet, je moet stil blijven. Die politie zelf weet van die probleem, maar van de tijd weet van die probleem. En die tweede bij die politie staan. En dan is vraag. Dat is het probleem. Die man, dat noemen wie mensen maparas. Die maparas is een probleem. Als ik soms sta, dan kan ik ook geen verder toesturen. Als hij iets gebeurt, bakleren. Je kan politie roepen en zeggen die verder weet daar maar bij. Die verder die kant toe. Als nog niet heeft niet. Alsjeblieft, ik hoor. Die zetten er van die goed mensen hier. Na die vergadering wat ik gezegd, doet niets. Laat ons zeggen op God afstaan. One, two.
Siyabonga kakhulu
Mhlauli. What I like, you really have been on point in terms of raising your points. And just before I allow our leaders to respond, is there anyone with a really burning issue? I could hear from the clapping of hands that, you know, whatever was raised is covering. Just one burning point that has not been raised. I note there's a hand here. Anything that has not been raised that is affecting you. Remember, I said we have the presidency, we have the Department of Justice and Constitutional. Woza. Njabulo, very soon. Okay, after this then, yes. So that then sibe nesikhathi esanele so that sithole ama-answers. Okay, can we give them the mic? Akekho ophindayo angithi. Madam, let's not. No, if you have already come to the front, let's leave for the other so that we can be able to. Yes, please. Let's give those who have not had the opportunity. No. Can I request for some order, please? Those, let's start with those, and then later on, let's start with those who have not spoken. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Goeiemorgen, al die dierbaren en de grote mannen. Ik voel jullie in de naam van de Heer. Mag jullie allemaal gevinden voor je werk wat jullie doen. Bekeerlijk en oprecht. Niet keerlijk niet. Het is uitkering daar niet. Mijn naam is Gert Botter. Ik blijf in Paternoster. Ik heb uitgekregen bij de appartement. In de Rien, weer, en toen ik om iets zeg, ik ga niet voor mij uitkering. Rien is van Zuid-Randal. Ik zoek afkomstig van Zuid-Randal. Ik heb mijn vrouw gepakt in Paternoster. Rien zei, ik zal niet voor mij uitkering. Ik heb uitgekregen van het appartement, dat kaap ik. Ik heb antwoord doen in Paternoster, Vriendenoord en Paternoster. En de Rien zei voor mij, Bertie, ik zal niet voor uitkering, want ons ken elkaar. Hij zei, vragen hoe kom je? Ik zei voor mij, omdat mevrouw heet hij. Ik zei niet, ik heb nog getrouwd als blik samen. Als ik samen hier maak. Ik heb 9 kinderen bij haar. Nou, hoe, ik heb een pensionaris. Nou, hoe moet ik heb ziekelijk, ik heb heel te oorlog gekregen. Het is een schande dat een man dat oorlog kreeg. Nee, hij kan krijgen. Dat is, ik heb een klein beetje wat ik goed doe, die tafel. Ik moet doen dit. En dan zei eerst op een patroon zo gekregen. Dat heb ik gekregen. Nou, ik moet. En die had het gekregen. Gewoon het alleen op elkaar. En dat is het. Hallo?
Goedemiddag allemaal. Hier is allemaal hartelijk vanmiddag gegroet in die onfeilbare naam van de Heer Jezus Christus. Hier is allemaal gegroet in die skitterende naam. Mijn naam is Mhlauli. Ik is eigenlijk oorspronkelijk van Piket weer. Ik heb voor jaren daar gebleven en ik is naar een bos toe verhuisd. Ik heb mijn naam daar ingegeven voor meer dan 20 jaar. En dus heb nooit een plekje gekregen. Ik is al voor meer dan 15 jaar in Hopefield. Mijn vraag vanmiddag is, gaan daar nog huisjes in Hopefield gebouwd worden? Ik zie vanmiddag die omstandighede mensen beginnen raak backyard dwellers. Ons kyk hier vir mekaar, ek dink hierdie Tandi ken ek vanmiddag. Ek ken haar my hele lewe lang. En as ek vanmiddag moet 'n voorbeeld maak, kan ek vanmiddag vir julle sê, dit is nie lekker om rond te swerwe nie. Ek myself is vanmiddag 'n enkel ouer met 'n disability. My seun is disable. Ons gaan soek vir hulp. Vanmiddag is ek van die minder bevoorregtes. Is daar nie vanmiddag 'n helpende hand
wat kan sê net die Faro, hier is vanmiddag vir jou hulp vir jou seun wat dis gister en missie. Ek myself het ook hier 'n blyplek en ek kan vanmiddag julle sê, dat is lekker om buite te slaap, swaar te kry, honger te ly en daar's niemand kan help nie wat kan help nie. Vanmiddag wil ek vra, ja, ek vra vanmiddag huis, vir ons vir die huis, die mense bly aan hokke, dit kan nie so aangaan nie.
Goeiemôre, almal wat binne is. Ek is Martha Simon, ek is nou van Opfield. Ek wag nou al 5 jaar, wag ek vir my prys. Ek zweer wil maar toe, die rechte vaste plekkie. My man is al 2019, 2015 is hy oorlede aan. Ek sukkel, ek is alleen, ek kry net my disability, ek kry die aan mekaar, ek moet elke tyd gaan weer. Maar baie dankie.
So, goeiemiddag. Ketterpullers van die Here, blomken van God en die mooie naam van die Koning Jesus. Vanmiddag is het 'n goddelike voorreg om hier te kan staan vir mense wat ek nie ken. Ek het 'n pleidooi hartseerpunt. Hulle het gesê, jy sou nou kort en kragtig. As jy met my. Amen. Ek is woonagtig tans, ek is van Freedom, maar my naam is Jeff. Hulle sê J.B. McTon. Woonagtig by my skoonmense. Ons bly in 'n kerk wat vervallig is. Munisipaliteit, ek praat namens my swaar, ons bly almal daar, ons is 2 huisgesinne. Die kerk is vervallig, munisipaliteit en die kerk, hulle is almal oorpy mense. Hulle bly soos 'n oorpy. En munisipaliteit het gekom in Freedom, local munisipaliteit, kom sit hulle uit op die straat. Hulle het die krag hier, hulle sny die water, hulle sny krag, en hulle voel net sê, aangezien my swaar is nou op die waglys vir 'n huis. Nou, my vraag is, hoekom kan munisipaliteit die huis wat ons nog al 1999 af en hy plek kry? Kan ons nie die plek kry nie? Dis 'n moeilikheid. Dankie.
Kamalanga mbele kumbang iphuma eLondon ndibulise iMinisazi ndizomhlalo ngaphakathi ndizoma apha sinengxaki ndizobhekisa apha ku-DM asigqokisele umyalezo uNonceba because education akekho iLondon ihleli kwi-situation yabantwana besikolo abathutha zibhasi eziyi-15 ukusuka eLondon ukuya eFredenburg i-high school asinayo. Besicela elokuba bangama UDM asigqithisele lo myalezo kubantu bakwa-education kuba bengekho apha. Eyezindlu ke andizoyichaphazela because seyithethiwe. Sicela nje usigqithisele lo myalezo ngesenkosi.
Ik ga elke maand, iedere maand weer schrijven aan locals, ik werd op het interesse. Het is niet onnodig, want trek wat kan uitkomen naar ons mensen en bij 2, specifiek en bij 2. De reden waarom ik het gaan aanzoek doen is dat onze baie pensionarissen hier in die wijk 4 in. En hulle die transport of geld om tot daar te gaan. Het is een groot uitgave bij hulle en dat kon het niet maken, so ik vraag om nog eens. Als ik die wonder kan ik praat met de bestuurder daar en ik geloof op mij. Hij kan een e-mail sturen, maar dat komt niet voor jullie, dank u.
Monica, je kan allemaal zeggen, je zou een paar keer courage, ja, naar Park Street. In Nederland, in Mbana, om het vallen met die EA's in de vela, apu kuna tina bamba mnyama simunalana. Dat toch, abana, bakabele pale ni kana sali, kwa tonana na tuji mal, ite EA's in de vela. Nasume,
Njabulo sana. Mina ngomnye wabantu abasalufumana i-box yombane ndayivuyela kakhulu loo nto leyo siyabulela kakhulu enkosi kodwa ingxaki enayo yinto yoba xa ndithenga umbane ngokwe-100 fumana only 40 units ndikeyobuza enye imali i-60 rand yam iyaphi la 60 rand yam anamanzi anatoilet
Goeiemôre, alle mense. Ek is so 3 punte wat ek vind op 'n heel plan. Die eerste punt is die oor die nuwe ID. Die nuwe kaart vir 'n ID en die betaler voor. Maar nie die niet. Met die eerste verkiesing van Suid-Afrika die demokratiese verkiesing. Toe die buiten ID, die ander is 'n niet gekry buiten ID. Nou die ID wat die nou kom die kaartjie ID. Die eerste ID wat kies ek hier met 2 liters. As ek dan kan hoor, dan die betaler voor. Hoe kom jy 60 is over die ID dan kry? En hoe kom jy 18 is over die ID kry? En die ander ene is die wat ek weet by die Department of Labor. As ek weet en ek weet vir die eisen, hoe sê dit, die logmaker, wat so packages is by die companies. Denk maar hulle, dat kies ek moes. Nou die volgende my nie wet sê, as ek kies, dan moet ek daar die kapitaal kry. Ek kan nie vir 'n maand wag, vir 2 dae nie daar sy geld nie. Hoe ek daai dan uit? En die ander ene is die sarfmense, let jy 'n skeller. Want, ek het 15 jaar gewerk in die Delaware municipality. Toe bewerk my dan, toen kreeg ik mijn staatsgeld en ik kreeg een brief van, ik had 21 jaar, 21.000 cashback kreeg ik, maar ik ga nu dat voor. Hoe nou?
Ik ga me laten doen, ik ga ngihlala apha ngiphosa apha eplakastam into ebenzayibheka ndinengxaki andiphangeli andisebenzi ndipeya i-disability grant so ndinesihandi phayana ingxaki yam phayana ngamanzi nditsalelwa amanzi wembaneni xa ndithi kumnyama ngoku blokini ithanam yam yamanzi xa ndingaphangeliyo xa ndiza apha esivini ndixelele into yokuba mandibhatale 1.5 ndiyabhatala ndiyasebenza ngoba laa mali le ndipeyayo edisability yeyokutya nebisi i-1.5 ndizayithatha yombane
molweni bahlali, molweni bahlali. Igama lami nginguSiviwe Ifanile Umthothi, ngihlala kwindawo ekuthiwa yi-City Petrol Garage. Bathi ndinengxaki kumasipala, ndandihlale eHopland ndifike ngo-202 apha. Ndihlala kumkhulwa wam, bakhula ke abantwana bakamkhulwa wam ngokwindlu yakabhonki. Kwafumaniseka uba mandiphume ke ndiyohlala eTsitsi, ndiyozikhangela indawo. Into eyenzekayo, umasipala walapha eSaldanha wathi xa abantu baseHopland bezakhela amatyotyombe wawachitha, wabiza i-law enforcement, wabiza amapolisa asePaarl, wabiza bonke aba bantu baphaa phezulu basemagunyeni, zachithwa zonke indlu zabantu. Emveni koba zichithiwe izindlu zabantu, unanamhlanje umasipala koko ebemise indawo ilanto indlela phaa wayengathi wakha indlu, waqala eSelbo ungathi uwokha indlu, kodwa yayiHopland eyayidisparate ifuna indawo yokuhlala, waqala eSelbo. Ndiyayibona into yalapha noko ikhetha iphele emasini, ngoba into eyenzekayo siyazama into eyenzekayo ndandirenta ke urent. Ngoku into eyenzeka ndaphelelwa ngumsebenzi ke kwaSaldanha. Into eyenzekayo si-1 wokuthi thina ke apha eWooplan ideyithini into yaseWooplan because kudala siku-waiting list unanamhlanje ndiyazi noba kwade uvuka utata uMandela emathuleni nakuze
Molweni, nandivile nomtha apha ePlakastam. Umbuzo wam mna nesicelo sam. Malunga nosasa, xa ndizwemthethayo ngosasa, ibuhlungu ngenzeka kasasa. Kasasa asuka ePlakastam uye efundile umhlanje okanye uye eMulti Purpose. Nokulala eMulti Purpose ngo-10 o'clock ebusuku. Silale edentini. Uphinde xa ufikile phayana phelile nani jika. Uya kwenye idate kwenye inyanga. Umbuzo wam uthi lesicelo komhlanga bakalijonge lo mhluzo wakasasa. Owesibini umbuzo wakho lesicelo sami, clinic ikwayile same problem. Uya ekliniki ugula ubuye uwes kuthiwa akakugqirha. Ngoba ujikile.
Molweni bahlali. Molweni bantu abakhulu basetafuleni. Ndikulo garaji ndikhosani. Nibhaleni. Ndinezindlu apha ezimbini endiyahlala kuzo. Enye endihlala kuyo. Enye yayiphaa eMatyembeni ndasuswa ndaziswa zindlini. Le yayine 21,000 rand. Lela ke belathatha umbane lathatha lamanzi. Lasuswa. Nami ngoba ngiyazothusa ke bekunani ngoba lo uyangena lento qho ngenyanga apha ke ndayifumana isubsidy nakodlela kwamasipala kuthiwa no sense ayiphangeli umuntu omdala sisizukulwane ke sisibonayo andiphangeli ndamkela udala enkosi
Inkosi kakhulu bahlali. You are such a wonderful audience. Okay, can we keep quiet a bit? Okay, we have listened, we have taken notes, the different departments in terms of the questions. So as a starting point, we are going to invite the officials. Angithi baba abanibuyisele emuva abanjikisayo abanithini. Yeah. So qala ngabo ke baphendule ngaphambi kokuthi siletha abaphathi to respond. And nizobabona ngithi. So we sizolandela kanjalo ukuthi I'm going to call upon the different departments, the province, the municipalities, so that we respond, and I believe all of us, we have taken note of all the questions. If you are struggling in any other way, please let me know so that we can capture all the questions correctly. So let me first invite the Department of Employment and Labor just to give us a response, and then after that we will have an official from the Home Affairs to come and respond, and thereafter we will have the province, especially human settlements, but we are going to have umasipala wase Saldanha Bay. abantu enhlala nabo. And can I request ukuthi mhlambe some of the things we may not trust whatever they are saying, but let's give them the opportunity and listen to them and trust ukuthi our leaders, our political leaders, the deputy ministers that are here are going to hold all the officials to account in terms of responding. Siyavumelana lapho. Yazi ngithanda kabi la eSaldanha de ngathi nami ngizothola istand ngapha ngizohlala nani. You are so orderly. Okay, can I have the Department of Employment and Labor? Yeah, please, so that was born. And then can we have Home Affairs? You are here, okay. And then the province, they are here, and the municipality. Over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. All protocol observed. My name is Benrico Daniels. I'm working for the Department of Employment and Labor in Friedenberg, and I'm working as a career counselor. So I just want to quickly give a brief overview of the services that we are rendering, because the Department of Employment and Labor is mainly known for UIF, okay? So I just want to talk to the employment side of the Department of Employment and Labor, okay? So we are working, me and my colleagues, you will see we're wearing green and blue. We are working in a unit what we call Public Employment Services, okay? Because the department have the responsibility to contribute to decent employment creation, okay? But we cannot do that on our own. We partner with other organizations, we partner with government, we partner with private organizations and companies to give us opportunities to give to our people that is unemployed, okay? So we have a national database, what we call ESSA. It stands for Employment Services of South Africa. Okay, so I'm only talking from my level. Higher than me, I cannot really account for that, but I can account for what we can do as an office here on the West Coast. So as I said, we have a ESSA database, and it's a national database. So on the database, what we do is we register work seekers. Okay, so some of you in the community, you might know me, especially one of the councillors even says she's part of our job hunting groups that we are having, and a lot of you guys have our numbers. So we register people on our database for future opportunities, but I just want maybe to correct the understanding of how the database works. As I said, it's a national database. Once you have registered, we as Public Employment Services, we go out to employers and we ask them, can't we assist them with their recruitment and selection? And because it's a democratic country, they decide whether they want to make use of our services. Now, every now and then people come back to us and they say, but I've been on the database for such a long time, okay? But some of the things are out of our control. We cannot force employers to make use of our services. However, there is some employers here, there is local government here, and we want to encourage them to make use of our services so that we, as a collective, can make a difference in the life of our community, provide them with those jobs. Okay, and then once an employer comes to us and they have given us an opportunity, any job opportunity, we assist the Department of Home Affairs when they were looking for mobile drivers, and I have personally done the psychometric assessments for them so that they can employ those mobile drivers to check whether they are suitable for the role of mobile drivers. Okay, so any other organization can come to us and say, I'm looking for security guards, I'm looking for general workers, I'm looking for an admin person, and we can then try to assist to provide that service to you. And then me personally, I'm working as the career counselor, so my role is to empower the youth and the unemployed or the underemployed to become more employable. And in terms of assisting, so sometimes I'm sending out WhatsApp messages, we're informing the community, to say that I will be in the community. I was recently been here next to the, there's a hall just outside here, and I've sent out over 500 WhatsApps and SMSs, but only a few people really are interested. But it could also come from a point to say that they have lost hope. So we are trying to provide some hope and bringing hope, and the people are attending my sessions, but I just want to encourage you guys to make use of our services. Come to us and say, Daniels, here is my CV. Do you think this CV can get me a job? Because a lot of times we have like jobs fairs. So when I analyze those CVs, I realize that our people really needs assistance with that. And I just want to try also just to change our mindset in terms of, yes, we want the job, but we need to get the basics also right in terms of getting a proper CV done, as well as being taught how to answer certain interview questions within the, when you go to the interview. That is just our services in short, but if you have any questions, I will respond to that. Thank you. Then in terms of UIF, we do come out to the community because we understand the community doesn't always have money to come to the office. So we do have pay points, and usually people know when will we be in Saldanha, because a few already asked when are we coming again, and they have an idea when are we coming throughout the West Coast. So they know the dates, and we are taking the services to the people.
Thank you very much. Selim Bonel, you've seen him. So let's engage with them, okay? Can I, yeah?
Okay, then if I have to talk to UIF, I cannot talk regarding SARS, and I think sometimes people confuse us with SARS. But we are working for the Department of Employment and Labor, so we can only talk to our UIF matters. So, in order for you to qualify for UIF, your employment must have been terminated by the employer, meaning you as the person must not have terminated your employment. You mustn't have stayed away from work or decided you resign. Then you don't qualify for UIF. You only qualify for UIF if your contract has come to an end or the employer has terminated your employment. And the other thing is, earlier we had another gentleman asking about you've worked for 7 years for a certain company, and then they also confuse us in terms of provident funds. We don't deal with the provident funds. We mainly deal, or we only deal with UIF issues. And as soon as you become unemployed, you must apply for your UIF benefits, irrespective of the benefits, within a year. If you apply outside that period, then we will not be able to assist you. And they're working out on a cycle of 4 years. So anything that falls outside the 4 years, you will not qualify. So UIF is an insurance fund. It's not a savings fund. Okay? So you cannot claim for monies of 10 years ago, if that is clear. Okay?
All right, thank you very much. May I then invite Home Affairs?
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me start by first saying good afternoon. Goeiemiddag. Julle kan my hoor. So let me start by greeting the Deputy Ministers here today. The Deputy Minister of Human Settlements, Deputy Minister in the Presidency, and Deputy Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. And may me also make an apology for the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs. He was here this morning. He brought the mobile trucks for you, but he had to run and rush back to Cape Town to Parliament. And that's the job of Deputy Ministers. They're on call all the time. So also let me then just recognize the councillors. I heard there's some chiefs here. I heard the chief of the Khoisan is here, military veterans. There's officials here, senior officials. And then most importantly, thank you for your questions, the community. You're very important. I want to say that my name is Yusuf Simons. I'm the Provincial Head of Home Affairs in the Western Cape. I'm here with a team of 15 officials. You can see them sitting all here. We brought a big team here, and we brought 3 mobile units as well. And they will be here throughout the day to help you. So far this morning alone, we have taken in 49 applications for IDs and 2 birth certificates we issued. So we are moving. Then the questions, the first question on wijk number 4, the mobile unit. We have already, the team has already spoken to the gentleman who raised the question. And we'll be here in April in wijk 4. So you've asked us and we're going to deliver shortly. 2 weeks from now we'll be in wijk 4 to come and help you. But what I want to say is that in the meeting we had, the briefing this morning, one of your councillors also raised the issue of undocumented persons, late registration of birth, undocumented. So as a Department of Home Affairs with our mobile units, we will engage the councillor. She already has my information. So we will also, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, a constituency office, parliamentary constituency office, is in Vredenburg. So we will liaise with the Deputy Minister's office, with the councillor, so that we have a more fixed program for the West Coast area. But in particular, the battery of the mic is leaving us. But in particular, the late registration of birth. Thank you. So we will have an outreach for those undocumented persons. But the Deputy Minister mentioned this morning, undocumented persons as persons that's not on the NPR, National Population Register. And the task for Home Affairs is to ensure that only South Africans get onto that population register. So when you enter any border of South Africa, you get a piece of paper that legalizes you. So if you're in the country undocumented, question is, how did you enter the country? But we also know that on the farming areas, in these areas, there are children who never had the opportunity, their mothers, to come to Home Affairs to register them. That's why we will have the late registration program. Your councillor here, Teresa, already has the requirements. We send that, as we were in the meeting, we send the requirements to her so that she can get the team together and we can come out and help you with that. Then the last question for Home Affairs on the fees. Ja, ne, geld. So, when you apply for your first ID, you are 16, that is free. When you are 60 and older and you want to change your ID, that is free. So when you are born, your birth certificate given to you, that is free. So in life, everything can't be free all the time. So when you lose your ID, must we give it to you for free? We did not lose your ID, you lost it yourself. Then you have to pay. So when you come for your ID, unfortunately, you have to pay the 140 rand. But you don't bring photos anymore. Remember, you used to pay 60 rand for photos. Now you don't have to pay that. So that is free. You have to fill in forms. There's no more forms. So that is free. But you have to still pay 140 for the ID. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are then going to invite the Western Cape Province. There were so many human settlements issues that were raised, and that's where the focus will be from the human settlements.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I've been covered by a colleague from Home Affairs, but again just to greet our Deputy Ministers who are present. But I think most importantly, the community here from Diasbo. And I want to latch on to what the councillor raised when she welcomed us. And she spoke about this case of Jocelyn Smith, which is taking place here in your area. And she raised this issue about responsibility. And I think all of us as officials, we take that same view and we take it very seriously that we have a responsibility as we stand here as public servants to serve you, the community. And I know that many of you, as you sit here, are thinking to yourself, what will happen once we are done with this engagement? I want you to take into the confidence that in our community engagement with the leadership prior to us coming here, it was very robust. We nearly came to blows. But I think with the presidency here with us today, the Deputy Minister made the point that she is here, she's been here once, she's been here twice, and she'll come here more times to show this community that this government is listening, that this government cares about its people, that what you have raised here today is important, not mere words. You have not wasted your time to come here. So I want to give you that assurance. To go to the housing issues that were raised, and there are quite a few. We had 25 questions. This particular area where we find ourselves within Saldanha Bay is a special economic zone. A special economic zone. The one speaker wanted to know about commercial opportunities. I'm sure the municipality is engaging with appropriate large employers to set up their factories here in this particular area, which will no doubt lead to job creation. So again, those are processes which the municipality can share with you. The issue of military veterans was also raised in our earlier meeting. And again, one must understand how the human settlements landscape is full. We as the province engage with our national counterparts and we engage with our local government counterparts. There's alignment in everything that we do. We put together a business plan which we submit to the national department. That business plan takes into account what happens in your municipal area. So many of you have said, what about a development in Hopefield or in another area? It depends on what the municipality presents to the province, and the province then investigates and makes a recommendation, and we add it to the business plan, and ultimately the national department signs off on that business plan. So military veterans, again, we work with the Department of Military Veterans. We hear the same thing over and over that says, we don't get seen. What you build is not the spec, all of those things. One that you must do for the military veterans specifically, you must be registered on DMV's database. First and foremost. That's not a debate, it's not a negotiation, you have to be on that database. We then engage with military veterans together with the municipality to look at what is in this particular area. And then we can make a determination of, is there a development for military veterans within Saldanha Bay? In terms of the criteria, and I saw the lady Elizabeth, there she's sitting. Elizabeth made the point about legislation. She spoke about the crisis that we have. And we've got to call it that, because it is indeed a crisis. Housing is a crisis for all of us. But what Elizabeth raised is very important. There's legislation which is passed that we need to look at whether it is still relevant. It aligns to what the lady spoke about, the criteria that we use in terms of a BNG opportunity. A BNG opportunity is for those people who earn between 0 and 3,500 rand. Now, to link to that, perhaps we need to have the conversation at the national level, and they've just come out with a MINMEC session now. Do we increase that threshold? Should we increase that threshold to 4,000 rand, whatever? That's another discussion. But it's at that level where you want to see change happening, so that it lands here at the local level. Now, when we talk about housing and the waiting list, because again, many of you raised the issue of the waiting list. You've been on the waiting list for 20 years. In some cases, I heard somebody say they were on the waiting list for 5 years. So there are people that have been waiting for 25 years for an opportunity. 30 years, 30 years. Now let me say that the waiting list, again, if I say DMV, military veterans, you must be on the database of DMV. When you make an application for a housing opportunity, your first port of call is your municipality. Now, what we've seen, deputy ministers in other areas, I'm not talking about Saldanha Bay, is that people will tell you, I'm on the database. Ek is op die waglys vir 30 jaar, 40 jaar. But what they don't say to you, deputy ministers, is, I haven't gone to the housing office in 20 years to update my details. Now what happens is, when the municipality has a development, whether it is in Deersville, Witteklip, Lowville, Laneville, any area, and people, we misinterpret how the waiting list operates. Because a lot of you will say that there is a scallum. Dis totaal scallum, my naam was op die lys en my naam is nie op die lysie. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. The municipality has their housing needs registered, and we as the provincial government, together with the national department, we make a special appeal to all our municipalities. Go and have a campaign in your communities. Like Home Affairs, we must consider this, Deputy Minister, to have a mobile intervention where we can go to communities so we can have them update their details along with the municipality. Because when you are required now and the opportunity is presented here in Deersville, the municipality is going to make an effort to contact you and say to you, Elizabeth, jou beurt kom nou. Hier is jou brief, jy moet môre jou sleutel kom haal by die municipaliteit. And then, we can't get hold of you. We can't get hold of you because you haven't updated your details, your telephone number has changed over the 20 years you've been on the waiting list, and admittedly you're staying in a backyard, in a shack, and you haven't updated those details. So I'd say again to our communities, take responsibility. On Monday, go to the municipality. The colleagues are here. They're standing by to assist you. They are standing by to assist you, but you have to do that. You have to do that. Chair, I don't want to go on. I can stop you. I think I've covered. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the community out here as well.
Thank you very much. What I'm going to do, especially for those, I want to give you the call center number for the Department of Human Settlements. I need to swap your phone. See, so that you will call this number and then check status, feedback. Can I call the number? 0800 00146-873. I'll repeat. 0800146-873. So inamba yase human settlements leyo mangabe bewubhalisile ufuna ukuchecka ukuthi status sakho sihamba kanjani. With that, can I then invite the municipality to the podium? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody, deputy ministers, councillors, all protocol observed. I'm probably the bringer of bad news, and I hope that the news that I give to you today will most probably give some insight and some detail to what the municipality does, how we do it, and also what our role is in the delivery of human settlements. I think something that we need to mention that my colleague of province has mentioned is the fact that housing is a function between provincial department of human settlements and the national department of human settlements. Municipality is an agent, is an implementing agent, so we're merely performing a function that is not delegated to us, but we assisting provincial department of human settlements. And by doing that, I think it's important to mention that with the implementation of a human settlement project, it at the minimum takes a municipality 5 to 7 years to deliver a project. From the start of our planning processes, right up to the day when a key is handed over to the beneficiary of a house. Second, I think before I start to answer the questions, I think it's important also to mention that with regards to the updating of your details on the waiting list, we are busy with 2 projects in Vredenburg, the Witteklip one and the one in Lobo, which will deliver 350 opportunities. And we've been busy now for 18 months. And you will not believe me, but we have not received half of the applications for the projects, for people to come and apply for subsidies. Now that is most probably due to the fact that the details that we have is outdated, or people don't come to apply for subsidies, which is very strange because all the cries and all the inputs that we heard today was from people that say that I need a housing opportunity, but yet when the opportunities are there, the subsidy applications is not happening as it's supposed to be. I think I would like to start with a question or the input that we received from the lady in Langebaan. We currently have a project in Langebaan. We have just completed the engineering services, and like I said earlier, that a project, there's a feasibility study, so we need to do certain steps, approvals that we need to get from provincial departments. Then your engineering service, your water, your road, stormwater needs to be installed before the houses can be done. Now, the project that I mentioned in Langebaan, that is where that project is currently at. We have just completed the services, so we're now going to move on to the next stage, where the houses will need to be constructed. I think also maybe with that said, all the projects that the municipality does, we need to submit an application for each of the phases to the provincial department for approval. I think the colleague of province has also mentioned that. So there's a line and there's a process that we need to follow before we can implement the projects in the municipality. In terms of military veterans, I think there was it was mentioned also by one of the inputs that there's no houses for military veterans. In the municipality, there's plus minus, and that's the official number that we have, about 30 people that is registered as military veterans in the municipality. And due to the fact that we have 1 in Vredenburg, 2 in Saldanha, 3 in Lango, for argument's sake, we try to incorporate the military veterans on the projects in the different areas where there are projects. So on the projects that we currently have in Lango, there will definitely be military veterans. In the projects that we're going to have in Langebaan, there will be military veterans. The same as the one for Vredenburg, we do have military veterans that will be assisted on those projects. The question that the lady has mentioned also about she's married or was married to a person, they got divorced, but she cannot apply for a house again. I think the colleague of province has raised that. That is a legislative or regulated process that we need to address through IHR processes. The input from the individual from Middelpost regarding the Middelpost Iraq project, I don't think it's a matter of Ryan don't want to do anything. I'm Ryan Groenewald, I forgot to mention, but it's not the matter of Ryan Groenewald they don't want to do it. Because we have a process where the municipality lists all the housing projects. That got approved by council. We registered with the Provincial Department of Human Settlements, and projects are then implemented. Now the same for the Iraq project. That project has been registered, it's on the housing waiting list, and the current planning of the municipality that it will be started to be implemented during the 26-27 financial year. However, I think we need to mention also that there are a number of things that we need to first established for the Iraq project. There's a number of people that have received those sites 2007, 2008 when the project was completed. So we need to confirm who are the people that's currently staying there. Some of the people might have deceased, some of the people might have moved or relocated. So are the people that's currently there, is it still the same people, and how many structures do we have, so that we know whenever we're going to start to build those houses, do we need a new area so that the people that is back as well as that they need to be accommodated or can be accommodated on another project? So again, I think it's a matter of time, not time, maybe time sounds maybe to us, but the municipality has it on our housing pipeline for implementation. The bucket system that was mentioned, I think it is not really bucket systems. It's chemical toilets that has been used in the municipality. It's cleaned, it's serviced on a three times a week basis. It conforms to the national norms and standards. Those things we are in process also to I don't want to say to eradicate, but we want to phase it out. And the plan that we have is that we are in process of appointing or advertising a tender for the implementation of services of the Middle Post or Slovo area. That will then replace the chemical toilets in those areas with waterborne sanitation or waterborne toilets in those areas. I think, and I'm speaking under correction, and I think we need to confirm this with the provincial department or national department. There was a question about if a person has, or two people receive grants, whether they will still qualify or not. I'm speaking under correction, like I say, but I think if you receive grants, the grants will not be taken into consideration for the SAPSA application. So if it's two elderly people receiving old age grant, your grant will not be taken into account as an income, because two people's grants now after the budget speech will be over 4,000 rand, which is obviously over or more than 3,500 rand. There was a question and something maybe that I won't be able to respond to, but it's something that I can liaise with my colleagues at the municipality regarding the selling of a house and where the transfer did not take place. I think we need to take into consideration that we follow the correct process whenever we sell our houses. Go to an attorney, let the proper process be followed so that the transfers can take place, so that you don't sit at the end of the day with a process where the houses is still in your, or not the houses is still in your name, but the house is actually still in your name, and you still sit with the issue that the municipal accounts is also still coming back to you as the previous owner, if I can say that. In terms of the framework Better Life, the person mentioned about the leaking toilets. In the municipality we have different departments. I will definitely liaise with the colleagues in the municipalities for the repairs and prompt repairs of toilets where they are leaking. And I must say, vandalism takes its toll on the municipality. We see areas where we do regular maintenance, regular repairs on toilets, on electricity, on street lights, but that does not taken care of, sadly I must say, by the community. Probably not the community, but people in and around the community that is vandalizing the infrastructure. So there we have a responsibility to take care of our infrastructure. The issue of about fire services that is arriving late, that is obviously something that I will take back to the municipality for interrogation and also request for better assistance on that. Electricity and illegal connections. I think the uncle mentioned about people doing illegal connections in the electricity trips. That is a national problem, and I'm not saying that the municipality closed their eyes for that. We have regular initiatives, and I think the last one that we had was in Middle Post or Slovo, where the illegal connections was tried to be removed. That we will, however, I will take it back to the municipality for further assistance. Then there was an input from a person in Paternoster. where he mentioned that Ryan don't want to give him a house. It's not Ryan's house, my friend. I can't give you a house. I can't also deny to give you a house. The process is whenever you apply for a subsidy, is that you, if you live with a partner, you and your life partner needs to apply. And if you don't do that, and it comes out that you have incorrectly applied for your house, that is the wrong process. And if that comes to the attention of the municipality, I don't think the municipality can close their eyes and say, guys, let's still give that house to that person. That will make the municipality complicit in terms of a fraudulent application, if I can call it that. So please, if you have a life partner that you either live with or that you're planning to stay with, and she or he has received the house, you must apply with him, and then eventually you will not get approval for your subsidy. The lady from Oakfield that is 5 years on the waiting list, we follow a process where the vulnerable people in the vulnerable community need to be prioritized, and from there on we're moving down in terms of waiting list registration dates and ages. Yeah, I think I've raised, or I've tried to address many of the things that was there. Demolishing of structures, there's a process that needs to be followed, and the municipality cannot just come and demolish structures. I think there's a legal process that needs to be followed, and you need to get an eviction order, but the municipality cannot just come and demolish structures. If there are then specific cases, I think that can be raised with the municipality, and we will obviously then try to address those. Thanks. There was a question also, my colleague said, about people that when they do or buy electricity, the electricity or the money is deducted against the other municipal services accounts. That is also a financial issue, an accounts issue that I can take back to the municipality. And I think it's also an issue that we need to then take or come back to the municipality to either through the ward councils and ward committees, so that message or the reason why that is done, and if it's done, can be communicated in a better way. Thanks. Okay, the contact number at the municipality, I think the call center number or the general number that can be called is 022 701 7000 or 7000. The housing department's number I can give you is, and that's my number, 022 701 7016934. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. Simshayeleni izandla enkulu. Siyaphuthuma, because I don't want you to leave without having heard from our political principals. So with that, I will then use this opportunity to invite the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, who is in our midst, Ms. Nonceba, Mhlauli, to come and address us. Can we give her a big round of applause?
Thank you very much, Sisi. Mandibulise kuninonke. Igama lami Nonceba, Mhlauli. Ek was oorspronklik van Appington in die Noordkap. And I live in Pretoria. I'm the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, and I am also the Member of Parliament who is responsible for this constituency, which is called the Saldanha constituency. It is, the office itself is located in Vredenburg, which is about 5 to 10 kilometers away from here. So let me just start by thanking everyone for having honored the invite to come here today. I'm going to mix my languages because I noticed that we've got different people. There were people that spoke Xhosa, others spoke Afrikaans, English, etc. So I'll try my best to code switch as I go. Okay, I'll try my best to code switch as I'm giving these responses. Why is this Imbizo important? It's important because we as government, ingakumbi thina that sit at a national level, we often sit in our national offices, get reports about things that happen on the ground without us actually coming to the ground, which is yourselves, to get the sense of what are the issues that our communities are facing. Ndinganixelela ndihleli apha namhlanje into yobana ezi zinto enibisixelela zona today. Die hele probleme van die huise, elektrisiteit, die maspalas, what do you call it, accounts, en alle klomp probleme wat almal vir ons vandag vertel het. It's important because we would not have had sight of those issues if we didn't have this Imbizo. But Imbizos are also important because it allows communities to have first-hand interaction with government and government officials to also hold us accountable. So as I am a public representative, I'm a member of parliament, DM Mhlauli is a public representative, DM Mahambehlala is a public representative. We are your representatives in parliament. Why is there a constituency office? So that when I'm sitting in parliament, as the parliamentarian responsible for this constituency, my other offices in Gugulethu in Cape Town, I am there to directly raise your issues. That's why constituency offices are important. And I do hope that all of us that are here know where the office is. If you don't know, you can come to me after the meeting. I will put you in contact with the people who work in the office. I will leave my contact details as well, so that whatever issues you have, you are able to come to the office and say, I went to Kwamaspala, I was not assisted. I went to the Office of Home Affairs, I went to the Office of Human Settlements, etc., etc. These are the issues that I have. I did not get assistance. Now, I also want to caution us. Ubala office masingasebenzisi as a replacement for umasipala. Andithi siyamazi umasipala ba uphi. Ons weet mos waar ons munisipaliteit kantore is dit nie? Ja. So my punt is, kom ons gebruik nie die kantoor as 'n replacement vir die masipala kantore nie. Maar kom ons gebruik die kantoor om ons hele probleme waar ons nie by ander plekke oplossings kry om te report nie, né? So we'll make sure that we leave our contact details and ensure that we are able to use the office as a true representative of our people. I just wanted to make that point by way of introduction. I am the new MP responsible for this constituency, and we will be coming here very often to ensure that we meet with different stakeholders so that we are able to make that office as effective as possible as your office. It's your office, you must make use of it. Even if you want to come and photocopy machines, to photocopy CVs, you must go to the office to photocopy CVs. If you want anything that you think that we can assist you with, please make use of it. If it's too far from the first freedom but as a big fair, we will leave our details. There are local structures there, there are your local councillors and everyone that we also liaise with. Nah. Okay, let me come to some of the issues that were raised. Of course, my colleagues will speak to the other issues, but I just thought that there were a few issues that we must speak to. That we are going to have to, as part of the office, try to resolve. The first one, and I'll start from the bottom and go up. I think the first one that was raised was the issue of the high municipal debts. I know it's a big problem everywhere, with someone who should be on the indigent list. I don't know what we call the indigent list here, but back home we call it the Armlasta Khalees. What do we call it here? The Armlasta, okay. So where people who should be on the indigent list because they are either pensioners or receiving the disability grant or all different other grants from government actually still get a municipal account at the end of the month, when in actual fact, remember when you go on the list, you get exempted from the normal rates, as it means. So you get exempted from the normal rates and all of that. So a few people here have reported that, and it sounds as though they shouldn't be getting the big exorbitant accounts that they are getting. We don't know why that is, but we have noted the matter, and we will be following up on those individual cases to find out what exactly the issue was. I know there was one elderly lady who was telling us about the fact that the house wasn't transferred over. It's a common problem that we are aware of in our communities, where you actually inherit a house, and then in inheriting the house, it's probably older and then after that you continue living in the house, you are an indigent, but then you continue to get the municipal account of that particular house. But remember, if you don't go to Masipala to go and change the ownership of the house, uMasipala kaloku uzawuqhubeka akubhile based on what is on the records of Masipala, and it. So our municipality will continue to bill you based on what is on their records. So what we must make sure is to check what information of yours ipakwa Masipala, so that if that information is updated and the process of transferring the house has been done, then we are going to, working with our councillors, I'm happy the councillor is here, there are other councillors present here as well, we are going to get a sense of each one of those cases. Where are they and what the issue was, and how we can resolve that between the person and the municipality. What's also very important that abantu don't often want us to talk about, which is important, and I'm going to talk about it because it's an important point. Ngaphandle kwabantu who are on the indigent list, it's also important for us basenze ntoni simbhatale umasipala. Andithi? Also important basimbhatale umasipala on smooth on some municipal rates betaal. Especially those of us who have jobs and who have means to pay. Because when we don't pay our municipal accounts, umasipala doesn't make money, and umasipala xana engenzi imali, then the municipality can't offer the services it has to offer. So we are going to try to resolve the issue of the debt and see what the problem is, but it's also important for us to pay the rates. There was an issue raised at SASSA. We did try with DM Mahambehlala to ensure that we invite SASSA here. We wrote to her office because they are the ones that are hosting us here today. We did write to the Minister of Social Development because when I came here last month, one of the issues that we actually got was, we all know that right now there's the issue of the moving or the updating of the SASSA card, as it means. And I hope everyone here has updated their card to the black card. So there was a big issue around the SASSA cards and the post bank issue, and we actually wrote to them. They were not able to come and join us here today, but we are going to ensure that through the office we do have another community engagement where we bring SASSA and the post bank. Because what we don't want is for our people who are already beneficiaries to not be able to continue receiving the grant as a result of the administrative glitches that might occur between now and at the end of the month. I think the cutoff date is at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. The 20th. Oh, you see, we know. That's good. The 20th of March, which is in about a week's time. But we will ensure that we do come back with SASSA like we did with Home Affairs. We'll come with a mobile facility, working with the local office to ensure that we resolve the issue of SASSA, all the applications and all of the other things that we need to sort out administratively. There was another issue on education that was raised. Usisi raised the issue around the children having to travel. I'll get the details of the school and I will visit that school. The last time I was here, I visited Dyersville High School. I actually think I saw the principal somewhere here earlier on. I think he might have left, but I saw him in the crowd. We are working with Dyersville High School. I've also been to Middle Post Primary School as well. That's another school that we are working with. And we are in talks with those particular schools on the needs of those schools. The school that UCC Note mentioned, she must just come to me after this so that we can get the details of the school. And we will visit the school to see what the issue is around the transportation of those children. As I said, we've already been to 2 schools in the area, and if there's another school that we need to attend to, we will. And once we do come back from a school, we do actually report to the ministry. And when we go to a school, by the way, we go with officials of the Department of Education, so that if there are issues at that particular school that the Department of Education has to attend to, we'll make sure that they are with us. I leave the issue of the bucket system and sanitation to the Minister of Human Settlements. And I think the last issue, of course, was the issue of home affairs that our colleague here has indicated. In actual fact, I think the one thing that he forgot to say was we've noticed that while we are in the Imbizo, that there are people that are going outside because they are worried that we are going to leave without them having done their applications. He did commit that because we understand that we are now in the Imbizo, and if there is a need that at the time that we leave, that there still is a line that they will come back tomorrow to have the van here for anyone that needs to do whatever application that they need to do. I thought those are just a few things that we must respond to, but more than anything, I want to plead, and really that let's make use of the organs of state that government has made available for us to interact with our public representatives through the office. Now, the other issue is that we often become impatient with our government, and we understand that because sometimes things take longer than they are supposed to take. And we also understand that some of our people have been waiting for a long time. And I just on that point want to say that as government, we are very much aware that the patience of our people is running thin. And the patience of our people is running thin, which is why we create these platforms for us to be able to engage directly and ensure that we are able to unlock some of the bottlenecks that are there. The nice thing here about the presidency, this is now me bragging, unlike the other 2 deputy ministers, is that they are limited to their departments. DMNL is limited to justice and constitutional development. Mahambehlala is limited to human settlements. As the presidency, we have no limits of what we can do, right? And that means that if we find a problem anywhere, we are able to pick up the phone and say, there's a problem in this community, we need you to go and resolve it. Without someone asking me where I get the authority from. If they ask me, I tell them I get the authority from the boss. Ne? That was on a lighter note. But the point is really that we want to thank you for having been here today, and that we are here, we're going to be stationed here for the duration of our term in office for the next 5 years, and we really want to work with this community. We also know that there are organized forums that do exist. Oh, that's the last point I wanted to make. There are organized forums that do exist within the community, and as I said, we've just arrived here, but we are going to be meeting and engaging with the different forums that exist in the community. We know that fishing is a big issue in this particular community. We know fishing licenses is a big issue in this community, and all of the other local stakeholders that is important for us to engage with to ensure that we better serve our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DM. Let me then invite DM Deputy Minister Nel from the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Mandibulisa nonke, goeiemorgen, goeiemiddag, very good afternoon to all. I greet my colleagues, but most importantly, I greet you, the community of Saldanha. This important meeting that we're having here today takes place in March. Now, March, we celebrate as Human Rights Month. We celebrate it as Human Rights Month because on the 21st of March, we commemorate the terrible things that happened in our past. On the 21st of March, the people of South Africa, some of whom the apartheid government wanted to carry passes, they said, we are not going to carry those passes. We are human beings. We can't be strangers in our own land who have to carry pieces of paper to justify where we can stay and where we can't stay. There were protests around the country, including at Sharpeville, including at Langa. More than 60 people were innocent people who were protesting peacefully, were gunned down by the apartheid government. And it's for that reason that on the 21st of March, the United Nations declared it to be the International Day for Combating Racism. In South Africa, it became known the South African Human Rights Day. And today we celebrate it as Human Rights Day, but this whole month we dedicate to human rights. For that reason, I would kindly ask if we could all stand and recite the preamble to our Constitution. The preamble to our Constitution says, we, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We, therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic, so as to heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law. improve the quality of life of all citizens, and free the potential of each person, and build a united and democratic South Africa, able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. Nkosi sekelele Afrika. Morena buluko setšhaba sa Yesu. God seën Suid-Afrika. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu fatuchedza Afrika. Hosi katekisa Afrika. Bye, donkey. Thank you very much. Okay. Those words in our Constitution did not come by themselves. They came because we, as the people of South Africa, were able to come together in our diversity and to say no to our painful past and adopt a constitution to guide us forward. Now, the challenge that we have today is to make sure that those words in our constitution are not just words on paper. Those words in the constitution must come alive for each and every South African. Each and every South African must enjoy the rights in that constitution. Each and every South African must be able to live in dignity, must enjoy basic services, and must have conditions of life that release their full potential. So we need, as government, as business, as labor, as civil society, as communities, to work together to address the key priorities, the burning issues that face our country. Firstly, we need to grow our economy. But we need to grow our economy not for the sake of growing the economy. We don't need an economy in which the rich continue to get richer. Okay. We don't need an economy in which the rich get richer. We need an inclusive economy that everyone can participate in, that everyone has the opportunity to work in that economy, to start their own businesses, to own a part of that economy. We need that also so that we can create work, that we can create jobs, that people can have the dignity of working. We appreciate that many people in our society are unemployed. And that is why we have social grants to assist people. But we know that even as people are getting grants, in meeting after meeting after meeting like this, people are saying to us, thank you very much for those grants. They help very much. They're essential. But what we really want is the right to be able to work for ourselves and our families. That is what we need to achieve. Secondly, we know that the levels of poverty in our country are terrible. That there are many of our citizens who wake up hungry and go to bed hungry. We know that the cost of living every single day is increasing. Whether it's water, whether it's electricity, whether it's the cost of food, whether it's the cost of petrol, of diesel, of paraffin. So that's the second thing that together we need to do. How do we deal with poverty and with a high cost of living? Now, in order to solve those problems, we need a society that is organized, that is mobilized, that can work with a state. But it must be a state that is capable, that is ethical, and that is developmental. And it's the characteristic of a developmental state to have engagements like these, where we can talk about issues, where we can hear problems, and we can talk together about how we solve those problems. So we've got to make this constitution a reality for all of us. But there's another question that arises from the constitution. And that is, what is a South African nation? When we say that we're all South Africans, what do we mean by that? I want to read you a very short part from the speech that former President Thabo Mbeki gave in 1996, when Parliament, when the Constitutional Assembly adopted our Constitution. I think all of you know that speech. It's known as the I Am an African speech. But it's relevant today, it was relevant then, it's relevant today, and it's going to be relevant tomorrow. President Mbeki said, "I owe my being to the Khoi and the San, whose desolate souls haunt the great expanses of the beautiful Cape. They who fell victim to the most merciless genocide of our native land has ever seen. They who were the first to lose their lives in the struggle to defend our freedom, and dependent on who they, as the people, perished as a result. Today, as a country, we keep an audible silence about these ancestors of the generations that live, fearful that to admit the horror of a former deed, seeking to obliterate from our memories a cruel occurrence, which in its remembering should teach us not and never to be inhuman again. I am informed of the migrants who left Europe to find a new home on our native land. Whatever their own actions, they remain still part of me. In my veins course the blood of the Malay slaves who came from the East. Their proud dignity informs my bearing, their culture a part of my essence. The stripes that they bore on their bodies from the lash of the slave master are a reminder embossed on my consciousness of what should not be done. I am the grandchild of the warrior men and women that Hintsa Sekhukhune led, the patriots of Tetshwayo and Mpepu took to battle, the soldiers of Mushweshwe and Ndunganyane, taught never to dishonor the cause of freedom. I am the grandchild who lays fresh flowers on the Boer graves at St. Helena and the Bahamas, who sees in the mind's eye and suffers the suffering of a simple peasant folk, death, concentration camps, destroyed homesteads, a dream in ruins. Being part of all these people, and in the knowledge that none dare contest that assertion, I shall claim that I am an African." That was President Thabo Mbeki, 1996, when we adopted the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Now today, knowing that I am an African formed out of all of these people, there are unfortunately some in our country who suggest that they are being discriminated against, that genocide is being perpetrated against them, that their land is being grabbed, and they're running overseas to talk to people who don't believe in democracy, people who lost elections but refuse to give up power, people who have been convicted in courts of law but still remain in public office, the Donald Trumps of the world. They go and cry there and call on them to come and punish South Africans for doing what our Constitution says is the right thing to do. President Ramaphosa in the State of the Nation address made it very clear. As South Africans, we're people of peace, we're people of unity, we're people of love, we're people of talking. We have many problems in our country. We've had many problems. Every time we've solved those problems by coming together and talking. We don't need bullies to come and tell us what to do in our own country. We refuse. Now, one of the things that they are trying to do is to divide us as a united people. To say, no, we're selecting these ones and giving them, we're going to give them refugee status. Also trying to cause divisions amongst us by saying that because we look different, we talk different languages, because our hair is different, our noses are different, we have different colored eyes, we must be divided. We say no. As South Africans, we are united in our diversity. And our Constitution recognizes that unity, but it also recognizes that diversity. Section 30 of our Constitution on language and culture says that everyone has the right to use the language and participate in the cultural life of their choice. But no one in exercising these rights may do so in a manner inconsistent with the provision of the Bill of Rights. Ons het almal ons eie taal, ons het almal ons eie kultuur, dit is ons reg om ons kultuur te hê, om ons taal te praat. Maar ons moenie ons taal en ons kultuur gebruik om te diskrimineer teen ander mense nie, om ander mense uit te hou nie. Die feit dat ons verskillende tale en kulture het, is ietsie wat ons by mekaar moet bring, sodat ons kan leer van mekaar. Hoe doen daais wat Ossa praat te ding? Hoe doen daais wat Tandi praat te ding? Hoe doen ons wat Afrikaans praat te ding? So ons kan leer van mekaar, dat ons 'n sterker nasie kan word, nie 'n verdeelde nasie nie. Our Constitution says in Section 31 on cultural, linguistic and religious and linguistic communities, persons belonging to a cultural, religious or linguistic community may not be denied the right with other members of that community to enjoy their culture, practice their religion and use their language, and form and join and maintain cultural, religious and linguistic associations and other organs of society. But again, the Constitution says, these rights may not be exercised in a manner inconsistent with the Constitution. Then the Constitution talks about traditional leadership, and it recognizes the fact that we have traditional leaders in our country, and it protects the institution, the status, and the role of traditional leaders. And it says that those traditional leaders have the duty also to develop traditional culture and to develop customary law. Then the Constitution establishes institutions to protect and to develop our constitutional democracy. The Human Rights Commission, the Commission for the Promotion of Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities. And it gives power to those institutions, to those Chapter 9 institutions, to help these different communities develop their culture, their language. So, I think our Constitution recognizes our diversity, but it also protects our unity. And at a time like this, where the things that are happening in the world threaten us, where people are talking about imposing sanctions, about engaging in trade wars. It's more important than ever before that as South Africans we stand united. Now, one of the important things in the Constitution is also the right that is implied there in human dignity, that we must all be safe and feel safe. And that is where the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development has a very important role to play, working with the police, with Legal Aid South Africa, with the National Prosecuting Authority, and with the Department of Correctional Services. We know that here in Saldanha, the most prevalent matters that are appearing before the local courts involve domestic violence. We know that there are cases of murder. We know that there's violence against children, also bullying against children. There's assault, and there's serious assault. At the moment, there are 775 criminal matters before our courts here in Saldanha. Very, very concerning. There are currently 35 open sexual offences cases on the court roll. But we're also happy to say that here in Saldanha, we've established a small claims court. It's a court that gives people easy, quick access to justice. And we'll ask Mr. Mr. Rodney Isaacs, who's the provincial head of the Department of Justice, to also ensure that we circulate the details of that court. But that requires all of us to stand together and fight the scourge of gender-based violence and violence against women and children. We've also got to make sure that those men, and usually they are men, who owe maintenance, that they pay their maintenance, that they do what is right, and that they respect women and children. I want to conclude by just talking about two difficult and painful things. The one is we've received reports that there's corruption in our legal system, including here in Saldanha. We've been told that there are prosecutors who take money to make cases either come or disappear. I just want to give you the assurance that will not be tolerated. That will not be tolerated. We will investigate, we will find those people, and we will ensure that they get the what out of our justice system. We don't want them, we don't need them. And these are not just words. Yesterday, I spent the whole day at the Palm Ridge Court in Johannesburg with the Minister of Justice. I'm sure that many of you would have seen on TV. 2 weeks before that, we were addressing a gathering like this, and there were organizations, especially organizations dealing with violence against women and children, who came and said, "Minister, you must go to Palm Ridge Court. There are many things that are going wrong there. There are bad and terrible things happening there. There are magistrates who have been corrupted. There are prosecutors that have been corrupted. There are clerks." The most painful things that they said, even cleaners can be given 250 rand to go into filing rooms and to make files disappear. The minister and I went there, we spent the whole day. We walked through every single office in that court building. We spoke to staff, we spoke to the prosecutors, we spoke to the magistrates. We said this thing is not going to continue. First of all, we're going to reshuffle all of those staff members. Two, the minister demanded that by 3 o'clock today, she wants a report from the department and from those working in that court building as to what they are going to do to make sure that the records of that court are kept safely, that there's a camera in every room where records are kept, that those rooms are locked, that there's biometric access control. Secondly, it came to our attention that there are people standing outside of that court, touts, waiting for people to come in and ask them, what are you here for? If they hear it's a traffic offense, immediately they go. And as they told us there, for a pie and a Coke, things happen. We're not going to tolerate that. That is not going to continue happening. And we would urge all of you to please alert us to any of those wrong things that are happening. We can't have a justice system that is corrupted. The second thing I want to do, and that's the last thing, is that we're aware that this community has undergone great sadness and trauma with the disappearance of Jocelyn Smith. I think it's a story that has grabbed the heart of all of us as South Africans from wherever. And it's for that reason that the Department of Justice, working with the judiciary, said that the technical processes on this case can happen at the High Court in Cape Town. But we owe it to the people of this community for that trial to take place in this community, that the community can witness firsthand justice being served. After this event, I will be proceeding to that court to meet with Justice Nathan Erasmus to make sure that the facilities in that court are adequate, are proper, and that the security of everyone who's part of that process is fully safeguarded. So I thank you very, very much for your presence, for your kind attention, and for giving us food for thought to take home as we go and continue our work in our offices and in Cabinet. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Deputy Minister Andries. Now, I will then invite the Deputy Minister of Human Settlements, Ms. Tandi Mahambehlala, to come and address the
Thank you very much, Program Director. I'm not as tall as DM Neri, so this thing I'm trying to adjust is a bit complicated for me. Okay. Let me take this opportunity and greet everyone that is here today to honor this important gathering. The Ward Councillor, Councillor Gerald Cleophas, the Senior Khoisan Chief that we met earlier on, the DM in the Presidency, the DM of Justice, Home Affairs earlier on was with us, Employment and Labor, senior officials of Home Affairs, Employment and Labor, the province, Department of Infrastructure, the municipality, and the former Member of Parliament in our midst, Linda Moss, who's here to honor this important gathering. Allow me to greet all of you. You've raised fundamental points as communities. I think first and foremost, I must ask the people that have spoken here, Titi Nana, the ones that are on the waiting list since 5 years ago, people with disabilities, the people from my office must take contact from those people that spoke here earlier on. The other one is from Picketback, been waiting for 20 years. I'm saying this because the President has instructed us from the national government to say the list of people who are waiting for houses, who are in beneficiary lists, people who are vulnerable, people living with disabilities, and all these people must be prioritized. They must get their houses with immediate effect. And in all the provinces where there are projects currently, all these people must be put in those projects. If they are in number 100, they must put in number 1, number 2, number 5, so that they get their houses with immediate effect. So, everything that the President says as a pronouncement, or in any, whether it's a State of the Nation address, that which the President says, it becomes law, it becomes policy, it becomes something that we must implement at the level of government in ensuring that our people on the ground and South Africans, they benefit from the resources of their country, whether it's local or provincial government. Now, I think I must correct the official from the municipality. I could not correct him earlier on, Mr. Groenebrand. Local government is not an implementing agent of the provincial government, not at all. What does the constitution of the country tells us or teaches us, or how it guides us on this particular issue? And I think Honorable Deputy Minister Nel will agree with me when I say Chapter 7 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa outlines the framework for local government, including its powers, functions and relationships with other spheres of government, ensuring the provision of services to communities in a suitable and equitable manner. They have the power to administer the local government affairs and to exercise the powers and functions assigned to it by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Now, in essence, Chapter 7 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa serves to ensure that local government is able to effectively service the local communities while also working in partnership with other spheres of government, meaning that the province and national, they come as partners of local government. Now, it can never be correct that local government officials will come here and want to shift a goalpost to national or to provincial government for that matter. I'm saying this, Mhlauli, because the provincial government can't come to Saldanha and respond to people of Saldanha as to why the water bill and the electricity bill are combined as if they are twins. They go together like this. Province won't be able to respond to that. National won't be able to respond to that because it is not these spheres of government that issues you with your bills. They issue you with your bills. So I am worried. I'm worried, honorable councillors, that I hear, if you yourselves think that the municipality is an implementing agent, you've got a constitutional obligation to serve the people of Saldanha, to serve the residents of Saldanha. Cannot be. It's a constitutional obligation which every one of us must understand so that we can be better in servicing the communities that we are responsible for. Now, the commitment which I want to make here, because I think it becomes then a responsibility of the national government and provincial government to meet with the municipality so that they are able to understand their role and their responsibility, particularly that which is prescribed by the Constitution of the country, because all of us who abide by that particular constitution. South Africa is a constitutional democracy. People raised issues on the water cards, church place. We can't respond on water cards as province and national because we are not cutting waters of the residents of Saldanha. It is the municipality that was supposed to respond to you as to why the waters are cut by the municipality. It's not us. We have no answers. Now, I think the municipality, before we leave here, they must respond to these questions because it's not our question. So that all of us, when we leave here, we leave with clear answers as to what is it that is happening in our communities, so that tomorrow, when you go to the municipality, those that are here, perhaps they'll be able to be many voices after the message of the municipality and be able to engage with the municipality on these matters, because a young lady here says that I buy electricity with 100 rands. I get an electricity of 40 rands. And where I'm staying, I don't have water. So if you combine these two bills, at one point you combine the two bills. How do you take money out of my electricity that I buy and then I get less? So I think it is important for us as government to respond to those questions, because the reason why we have these Imbizos, bringing all these resources to the people, it's not because we're here to look for votes. It's not elections now. We were elected. We've got 5 years in office. And some of us are in these positions borrowed by the president. But Oksalayo will be members of parliament until 5 years. Now we have a responsibility to come to the people and make them understand exactly how government operates. But if we're failing to do that, we are going to have all these unrest that we see in the country. We are here to interact with you. We are here to try to be government that is bringing information to the people. And then we have a responsibility to make sure that people are served and we get all the answers. I'm not going to respond on the issues of SASA because a deputy minister in the presidency responded to SASSA. The senior citizen comes here and says, there's 7 toilets, few meters from my house, and I've been reporting this because it is a health hazard. And the municipality has not responded to that. I want to have answers. I'm not municipality. Municipality must respond, clear the air, ensure that these things, they are resolved very fast because they've got a responsibility to ensure that services are taken to the people. Izinyoka amapara is issues of crime, which I think will escalate to our colleagues, ensure that perhaps the minister or deputy minister of police, the 2 of them, they come and visit the area so that they are able to resolve on issues of crime which were raised earlier on. Tata says that she has a house, small, 9 children, and so on. And then issues of houses in general, and the issues of the policies and legislations of the country. DDG Nana Mhlongo will tell you that at the National Department, we are busy with the white paper, we are busy with all pieces of legislation that governs the houses generally in South Africa. One of the issues which we spoke about in the recent MINMEC, and we've agreed, myself and the minister, that we need to look into, is the issue of women in particular. They get married in community of property, they go and do everything in community of property, and then along the line they divorce, but they still appear as beneficiaries of the RDPs. That is a problem throughout the country, and we are saying that it cannot be that women will suffer triple oppression even now that we are in a democratic country. We are saying the laws of the country and the legislation must enable people who are divorcees to benefit from the resources that government gives to people. Be it is a house, be it is a grant, they cannot be prohibited from getting their houses because they are divorcees. Now when you are divorced, what must you do? You must go to the streets. It cannot be correct, and we are working on those legislations, those laws, and the white paper we just concluded now, it's going to be in effect very soon, and we are going to address these issues. We note that, and we have realized that we are suffering a lot at the level of the people that are supposed to benefit. Now, the housing backlog. The issue of the housing backlog in our country is very multifaceted. I'm saying this because over and above government not giving people houses, but at the center, there's fundamental challenges which I think as communities we need to look into. Government gives you an RDP house. When the going gets tough, you sell your RDP house and go and put a check in an informal settlement, invade the land and so on. And then when you apply for the RDP house, you don't get the house because you single-handedly, no husband, no divorce, no nothing, you decided to sell your house. Government can't give you another house. It doesn't matter even if you can have a house in Eastern Cape, in Polokwane, in Gauteng. If you come to the province of the Western Cape thinking that when you register to benefit from the RDP houses, you will benefit, you won't benefit because the system is going to pick you up that you once had an RDP house. Now, these are the people that are causing the backlog that we have in the country today. And when everyone is taking it to the streets, they are the ones who are leading the protests without even telling their community leaders the truth. Now you have a list that is bloated simply because people had houses, decided to, and they even sell these houses to foreign nationals, for crying out loud. That's why we have a high number of houses that people can't even transfer, because they're selling these houses to some undocumented foreign nationals. They buy these houses, they establish paza shops, which are later killing our children. So as community leaders, we are asking you to help us identify and stand up with government to say, if you had a house in Gauteng, don't come to Western Cape and apply for an RDP house. That's one issue of many issues that creates the backlog in our country in general. Another issue that is very much burning in the Western, in the West Coast region, which I think at the level of province we need to look into. I was in Matsikama some time ago, and then a mother of 3 or 4 children has passed on. And then, as we were busy receiving the briefing in the municipality, a member of parliament in the legislature saying there's children outside. I was like, but I'm not here for children. Now, children are here to raise an issue. The mother died, they are preparing for the funeral of the mother, but the municipality is telling them to vacate the house. And the mother had not been buried at the time. And then we had to stop everything and focus on this issue. Fortunately, the MM was very much responsive there. And then those children, they were told, okay, you can stay there, nothing will happen. There was emails to my office, communication. Few months down the line, those children are facing an eviction. But by law, if I register for an RDP house and then I die, my dependent is supposed to be a beneficiary in that RDP house. Now, these are the things that we get everywhere we go. But we are saying we're going to tighten those things, ensure that, for instance, in my other life long ago, when I did not even in my, wildest dreams, dreamt that I'll be standing here on this pedestal and a deputy minister. I was just an activist. I was once a beneficiary of an RDP house. And that RDP, when I went to register for it, my son, who was an infant at the time, is registered as a beneficiary in that house. Now, if I die tomorrow, that will be an inheritance to that child. Why must government take away that house? So we need to correct these wrong things that we do at the level of officials, and have ubuntu, because humanity, first and foremost. You know, that's why we've got the Batupili principles in all our offices, which all of us must adhere to before we could take any wise decisions that seeks to deprive society houses, because Department of Human Settlements is responsible for decently housing the people. Why do we still talk about the PHP and that the allegations that the municipality, I think that was responded to by Mr. Groenewald, the issue of the PHP project and the deficit that is there. Iraq, I think he responded to that. I'm not going to respond to it. The military veteran houses. The problem with the military veterans houses, it is not the competency of or responsibility of human settlements. It is sitting at DMV. It is the DMV that crafted the criteria. However, at the level of the Department of Human Settlements, military veterans, fortunately, the minister assigned them to me as a delegation. And this is one of the projects that is very close to her heart for obvious reasons. Those who knows her will understand why. Now, the beneficiary list of military veterans is sitting at DMV. And that list has its own challenges. Confirmation of beneficiaries, which is a problem because the criteria on military veterans houses, it cuts across. It's not only those who were in the South African National Defence Force that must benefit them. In fact, there's a general feeling that those who were in the National Defence Force pre-1994, they had houses, they benefited because government then gave them houses. But that's not our argument. The argument is that, in fact, the principle is that it must be inclusive. You must get APLA soldiers, you must get MK soldiers, you must get all the soldiers of the liberation movements that contributed to the liberation of this country on that list. And if they don't have force numbers, in their corners there in trenches, in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, they had detachments there. A Lutuli detachment that had a commander. And if those commanders are still alive, they must be able to confirm, to say, this is a war veteran, this is a military veteran, this is a right person, so that these people are able, all of them, inclusively, to get their houses. Now we are in a process of cleaning that list of military veterans so that throughout the country, all of them, they are able to benefit from that important project of the military veterans houses. We know that there's backyarders and so on. We are no longer calling this thing a waiting list. It's a beneficiary list. And people who are in the informal settlements, what is it that we do as an immediate intervention? As an immediate intervention, provinces are supposed to do reblocking. What is reblocking? Informal settlements must have streets. Informal settlements must be designed in the way that when there's fires, a fire brigade can enter and assist people. When there's someone who needs an ambulance must enter and assist that particular person. Now currently, if you move around the Western Cape, there is no reblocking of informal settlements. And we're busy with that, and there's an allocation of funds from the national to do that particular issue. We've got a process of service sites where the municipalities and the province must come and service the site, like Linda or Sibu, you're here. Fike, bafake toilet, the right, bafake and everything. And then perhaps put TRUs, but we're saying you can't have one beneficiary benefiting 2 times or 3 times. Because in a service site, you can't put a TRU. We're saying you must put a permanent structure and leverage on alternative technology houses, because these alternative technology houses, they are there, approved by Agruma SA. A technology house, you can build about 10 houses in 5 days. And it's a proper house, proper structure, 2 bedrooms, bathroom, open plan. Mr. Groenewald was right when he said that we have improved in terms of the houses that we're giving people, because the specs that they are using is the specs from national. A house must have a toilet inside, must have a shower or a bath, it must flush, it must have a kitchen. That is the standard of the houses that we're providing to the people of this country now. Because we believe that when they are decently housed, at least it will be better. Someone raised an issue here about integrated human settlements. Our mandate as the department is to ensure that integrated human settlements is realized. You can't have a house here and have a school 20 kilometers away. That is not integrated human settlements. Now, in whatever that we'll be building for the people, the province will tell you, they also have low-cost houses, very beautiful ones. The creche is here, a deck shop is here, a gym is here, a mall is just 5 kilometers away. That's what we want when we build houses for the people of the country, and they know the specifications. What other programs that we offer as the department and our entities in an event where, because I heard Umama saying that you must have 3,500 for you to get an RDP house. No. For you to get an RDP house, you must have your ID. For you to get an RDP house, you must have an ID. But the NHFC, which is an entity of human settlements, offers grants. If you earn 3,501, you can apply. Apply, and the quantum is 190,000. You will have that house if you qualify. Now, a grant is not something that you pay back. You heard me, I said grant, I did not say a loan, because there's a difference between a grant and a loan. Now, this grant is a grant that is mainly young people, they go for it. So the question that has arisen here, asking why young people are getting houses, not old people. It is simply because these young people are able to go and apply. You must earn from between 3.5 and 22,000 for you to be able to apply and qualify for this particular grant. So there's different processes in terms of housing people of South Africa in a very decent way, where people will be comfortable. So that is the process which young people are vying for, because some of them, at least they are working, they earn about 5,000, and then they are able to apply and qualify and get those houses like that. Otherwise, we are very much alive to what the president said, that all people from 70 years and above must get their houses. Can't be that an old person applied in 1996 and to date that person has not received a house. Umama says that there's houses on her name. I need those details. If I can get your phone number and those ERF numbers at the level of national, we'll be able to make a follow-up on that. So, cela details kumama. Tandi ngicela nifumane ezo details kumama, nizinike uDDG then, so that you are able to deal with it when we get there, because there can't be two houses on your name and then you are paying or you are expected to pay. I think the Deputy Minister in the presidency responded to the point which was raised earlier on by Ubudi, who says that he's receiving a disability grant, but he's expected to pay 1,500 for water and electricity. It's not supposed to be happening like that, but perhaps the municipality will be able to respond as to what is really happening there. So I want to leave it there, and as we said, and as the DM said, the fact that we are here today and we're at Imbizo and that we leave, it doesn't mean that we are not here and we are not going to come back. The Deputy Minister in the presidency, as she said, she has an office here, which is a parliamentary office for every resident of Saldanha, for them to be able to be assisted on any government information. It is even worse again that there's a presidential hotline. If she's not doing her work, there's a presidential hotline. Call that presidential hotline and be anonymous there and say, you know, people are not assisting there in that particular office, but I can tell you that office is open 24/7, 365 days. So I think DDG, before we close and give to the ward councillor to do the closing remark, I think Mr. Funevert must just respond to those issues which we have no answers for, because we can't be able to respond on these issues. Not even ESCOM would respond to such issues of electricity. So I will hand over to Mr. Funevert. Thank you so much.
Deputy Minister, I think I've provided the information that I could at the time. I've taken the responsibility to take it back to the municipality, and we will address it as such. Thanks.
Thank you very much to our Honorable Deputy Ministers. Can we listen? I'm still coming with good news. We are coming to the end of our program, and I'm going to, maybe before I invite Councillor Blackies to come and do the vote of thanks, I want to invite all of us to say there are services that are still outside. Let's make sure we use them. and let's engage with the officials that are available. And I think the marshals were requested to convene outside. I don't see councillor anymore, so that we can be able to distribute lunch. So we are going to have lunch, but we are all requested to stay where we sit, where we are seated. We don't move. It will be brought to us, so let's not go anywhere. That we will be served with lunch. So with that, may I invite Councillor Lakis to just come and give us the vote of thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alright. Ons rustig raak. Ons maak klaar. Ik doe die bedankings.
My apologies. I mixed the names.
Okay, ik ga zomaar zo'n kleine beetje Afrikaans praten. Ik denk het is belangrijk. Deputy Ministers, we actually want to thank you for coming and spoke to the people on the ground. Baie dankie dat jullie gekomen om saam met ons mense op de grond te praten over burning issues rondom human settlement, huise, ons mense wag na baie lank. And thanks for the time that you take to come and listen to our people on the ground. I think within the briefing session, I make it also clear that this is the burning issues of Ward 4. So I also put Ward 4 on the list. So from my side, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the communities from the different areas to come and make this event a successful event. And may you have a safe trip where you're coming from. Thank you very much once again.
Sorry for that. Our council of the ward this morning didn't feel well, but is well now. We still say thank you for that as well. From my side,